Greetings, YouTube. I found myself in a pedantic argument recently about the difference between an acronym, a word, and an initialization. Sorry about the dryer sound in the background. I did a review of a Gerber knife years ago, and it was called the Fast because it had licensed a speed opening system, assisted opening system for the knife. So you would flip the, I think it might have been a flipper, I don't think it was a thumb stud, and then a torsion bar would help open up the blade for you. And it was called the FAST with a period after each letter. And the people were arguing with me and telling me that that wasn't an acronym. It wasn't a word, it was an acronym. And they were making a distinction between the two. But an acronym is an abbreviation for a number of words that is pronounced as a word, as opposed to like an initialization like FBI. You don't pronounce FBI as anything other than FBI. But if you tell me that the knife you have you're going to license the fast opening system, you're not going to tell me you're licensing the FAST licensing speed opening system. You're going to tell me you're licensing the fast opening system. So that's an acronym right there. The first letter of a bunch of words, and those letters combined form a word. Which got me thinking about initials, our initials, like our whatever your initials happen to be, and some people's initials spell words. So, are their initials acronyms? I mean, they represent words, don't they? Well, I'm not going to give you the details. My mother's maiden name was M-O-E. Those were her initials. Sadly, my grandmother missed out on the opportunity of naming her other daughters with the initials of Shemp and Curly. But is that an acronym? It's someone's initials, but it's also an acronym because it spells a word, a name, a proper name, but it's a word. There are many possibilities where people's initials will spell not proper names. They'll just spell, could their names mostly going to be 3. Some people have 4, but like any 3-letter word could be someone's initials. Car, gun, tar, fit, pit, pig. That would be unfortunate, but you get the point. So I'm pondering, we don't think of it that way, though, do we? We don't think of people's names as being acronyms, but they can be. And the rest of us who don't happen to have initials that spell words, those are technically initializations. Because, like FBI, they're, John Stephen Turney, JST, say, they don't spell anything. As opposed to John Edward Turney. That would. Jet. So that's an acronym as opposed to his other cousin who is an initialization. But I do want to ask the opinion of people about the whole fast knife opening system. Now, there's no way in the universe that the guy that invented the fast opening system for knives didn't do it deliberately. He's designing something that helps open up a knife rapidly. He wants to call it fast so that you will make the association with the word and his technology. It's marketing 101. Now, personally, I've gotten to the point where I'm not really a big fan of opening systems. I mean, that's pretty darn fast. And then I got one here. This has got a torsion bar in it, but the other one didn't. And I frankly, I don't think there's a much of a speed difference. And the problem with this is that you have to overcome the torsion bar to close it, whereas this one, being manual, no torsion bar. So I've kind of moved away from torsion bar knives. I picked this up mostly so I could do a review. I bought it at a pawn shop. But like I just, and this is a very short blade. Because it's so short, it's actually slower. A slightly longer blade than this is easier to flip, and it's actually faster, paradoxically, because you can get more of a pop on it. But that's marketing. The dude called it fast. You would make the association. Ironically, it isn't fast. I own many manual knives that are both flippers and thumb stud knives, not knives that are flipped with like something like this. Like that. This one actually locks up really, really hard. It's a pain in the butt. But this one is a good example of something that pops open very quickly, and it's faster than the Gerber I reviewed. It had the name fast right attached to it. Like I said, you're going to call something fast, it better darn well be fast, and it wasn't. It did not get a favorable review by me because of that, for that reason. Now, if they hadn't called it that, if they had just that there had been no association whatsoever to being quick, I may have still judged it slightly harshly because it was an assisted opening design, which is in theory supposed to be faster than manual, and it wasn't faster than manual. I can open knives like that faster. Sorry about that. That is the dryer. That song is called The Trout, by the way. But I think well, they were being pedantic, but I also think that that's perfect marketing. It is a word. It's an acronym. It was named deliberately. It is not an initialization. You're never going to call that opening system the FAST system. You're going to call it the FAST system because that's what it is. It's designed that you will associate it in your head with speed. It better be speedy. It wasn't. Maybe Gerber just did it wrong. Maybe the original guy has a better quality version of it. I don't know. Maybe he keeps the good designs for himself and he licensed out the poor one. Who knows? But let's talk about acronyms and initializations, and our initials sometimes in acronyms and the rest of the time they're initializations. I find that idea fascinating for some reason.